Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dia, presenting the real-life news from the newsroom. Today, I'm telling the real facts about the legendary martial art king Bruce Lee. Bruce was born in San Francisco on November 27, 1940. At the time, his father Li Huichuan, an opera singer, was traveling on the East Coast, while his mother Grace Lee remained on the West Coast with his friends to await the arrival of her fourth baby, Bruce. The child was named Jun Fan, which means ever or always San Francisco, by his parents. But his anglicized name, Bruce, was given to him by the doctor who delivered him. After 5 months, baby Bruce and his family returned to Hong Kong. The hot and humid weather affected Bruce. He soon became very sick and weak, and his mother had to constantly look after him. He regained his health, he became robust and effervescent, which was to become a lifelong characteristic. Lee was born in San Francisco, California, but he grew up in Hong Kong. He was introduced to the entertainment industry at an early age as his father was an opera singer and part-time actor. The younger Lee began appearing in films as a child and was frequently cast as a juvenile delinquent or street urchin. As a teenager, he took up with local gangs and began learning kung fu to better defend himself. At that time, he also started dance lessons, which further refined his footwork and balance. In 1958, Lee won the Hong Kong Cha-Cha Championships. Lee's parents were increasingly disturbed by his street fighting and run-ins with the police, and they sent him to live in the United States shortly after he turned 18. He lived with family and friends in Seattle, where he finished high school and studied philosophy and drama at the University of Washington. While in Seattle, he opened his first martial arts school, and in 1964, he relocated to Oakland, California to found a second school. It was about that time that he developed his own martial art technique, Jeet Kune Do, a blend of ancient kung fu, fencing, boxing, and philosophy, which he began teaching instead of traditional martial arts. He drew the attention of a television producer after giving a kung fu demonstration at a Los Angeles area karate tournament, and he was cast as the sidekick Kato in the television series The Green Hornet in 1966-67. Bruce Lee was an actor, showman, producer, director, and writer, and starred in his next film, Return of the Dragon, US, 1972, or The Way of the Dragon, Hong Kong. Lee's following film, Into the Dragon, 1973, was first joint venture between Hong Kong and US-based production companies, and it became a worldwide hit, thrusting Lee into international movie stardom. Bruce Lee started young. Not only did he begin martial arts at age 13, he was also a child actor and appeared in over 20 films in Hong Kong before moving to the United States at age 18. His first screen time came at the very young and very adorable age of 3 months. Widely considered one of the best movies of 1973 and one of the best martial arts movies of all time. Enter the Dragon is probably Lee's magnum opus. Bruce Lee is ranked first among the top 10 martial artists in the world in 2021. Lee Jun Fan was a Chinese martial art performer, star, filmmaker, martial art teacher, and philosopher. Bruce Lee is the greatest, and his martial arts tradition continue. Bruce Lee continues to be seen by the masses as the greatest martial artist of all time. Have you ever heard of Ip Man, the man who taught Lee how to fight? In the first half of the 20th century, in the village of Fushan in Guangdong province, Southern China, there lived a man known as Master Ape or Ape Man. Bruce's most prominent memory of his early years was the occupation of Hong Kong by the Japanese during World War II, 1941 to 1945. At the age of 13, Bruce was introduced to Master Ip Man, a teacher of the Wing Chun style of Kung Fu. For 5 years, Bruce studied diligently and became very proficient. Bruce left Hong Kong at the age of 18. Bruce was looking for new vistas in his life, as were his parents, who were discouraged that Bruce had gotten into some trouble fighting and had not made more progress academically. In April of 1959, with $100 in his pocket, Bruce boarded a steamship in the American President's Line and began his voyage to San Francisco. Bruce did not stay long in San Francisco but traveled to Seattle, where a family friend, Ruby Chow, had a restaurant and had promised Bruce a job and living quarters. He enrolled at Edison Technical School, where he fulfilled the requirements for the equivalent of high school graduation, and then enrolled at the University of Washington. At the university, Bruce majored in philosophy. In the 3 years that Bruce studied at the university, he supported himself by teaching Kung Fu, having by this time given up working in the restaurant, stuffing newspapers, or various other odd jobs. In the fall of 1972, Bruce began filming The Game of Death, a story he once again envisioned. The filming was interrupted by the culmination of a deal with Warner Brothers to make the first ever Hong Kong-American co-production. The deal was facilitated mainly by Bruce's personal relationship with Warner Brothers president Ted Ashley and Bruce's successes in Hong Kong. It was an exciting moment and a turning point in Hong Kong's film industry. The Game of Death was put on hold to make way for the filming of Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon was due to premiere at Hollywood's Chinese Theater in August of 1973. Unfortunately, Bruce would not live to see the opening of his film. On July 20, 1973, Bruce had a minor headache. He was offered a prescription painkiller called Equagesic. After taking the pill, he went to lie down and lapsed into a coma. He was unable to be revived. Extensive forensic pathology was done to determine the cause of his death, which was not immediately apparent. A 9-day coroner's inquest was held with testimony given by renowned pathologists flown in from around the world. The determination was that Bruce had a hypersensitive reaction to an ingredient in the pain medication that caused a swelling of the fluid on the brain, resulting in a coma and death. The world lost a brilliant star and an evolved human being that day. His spirit remains an inspiration to untold numbers of people around the world. Thanks for being with us. Keep watching our Real Facts News online. Comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.